Hi, today I'm prepping the craft for the Jesus Star Award for Eager Beavers. And we are going to make a star ornament. And it is quite simple to do, but there is a little bit of prep to do before the meeting. I thought you might want to come along and see how the sample goes, and see if it gives you some ideas for things that you can do for your own club. So the Jesus Star Award does require a star craft of some sort. And when I saw that, I was rather excited because we did a ornament last year for the Star Award in Little Lambs, and I still have a whole bag of wooden stars. So I'm like, yay, I get to use more stuff I have. And I think these are going to look super cute on the kids' trees, and so I love to do some crafts that the families will enjoy for years to come. So this is pretty simple, but the one thing I want to do before I hand it to them is I do want to stamp the image on here. I'm not planning on giving that to my 4 and 5-year-olds. And then I actually want to make a full sample. This was my test one while I was playing with it to see how well this would work. And so I want to do one that will look more like exactly what they're going to do. But I want to show you so you can see what we're doing. So the first thing we need to do is stamp the image. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can stamp the image and emboss it, which if you have an embossing gun and embossing powder to do that with, awesome. You probably know what to do with it better than I do. If you don't have those things, though, it's not essential by any means. So this side I embossed because I want to see how it would look, and I think that's what I'm going to do for mine because I do have those supplies. This side is not embossed. This is not the image that we'll actually be using. I didn't have the right stamps when I first started playing with this project. So you can see how this looks, and it looks fine. In fact, I had a little trouble deciding which side I even liked better. So the one thing I'd like to say is if you're going to do it without embossing, either way, you want to make sure you're using the right ink. So I am not, I only dabble with stamping, rubber stamps and stuff, so I don't know a lot about it. There are lots of people who know a ton, and if you want to enlighten us in the comments, feel free. So here's my non-expert opinion. So I do use, this is the ink I usually use. This works great for embossing. So this is what I used for the embossed side. It always works great for me. However, I do have this, this is by VersaCraft. It's VersaCraft and it's just black. This is Ranger Archival ink, and I bought this specifically so that I could do watercolors over stamped images. And I think in this case, because what we're going to do is we're going to get this really wet, you might want to use this kind of ink if you're not going to emboss. If you're embossing, you're going to cover it in little bits of plastic, so it's not going to matter. I don't know how well this works with embossing because I haven't tried it. When I emboss, I use my VersaCraft. So there you go. If you need ink and you're not sure, I would say VersaCraft works great if you're going to emboss, and Ranger Archival ink works great if you're not going to. And other than that, I have no idea. So then you're going to need some rubber stamps. I wanted to use some that were Christmas themed. Specifically, we're doing, the story part of the award is learning about the wise men following the star. So I have a baby Jesus, which you saw right here. And then for my back, it's going to be a wise man. I have this set of stamps that I ordered. I was really surprised. I struggled to find nativity related stamps, which I didn't expect to happen. I really thought they'd be easy to find. But I will have links to all the supplies on the blog post, and you can find information about that in the description of this video. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to want to do is pick a side and start. So I am going to ink up my image really well, and I'm going to hope it turns out right. Now you'll see I have some paper down. This is just scrap paper. from one of my kids' school assignments that they didn't need anymore. I think they had some issues with it. Anyway, so I have just a piece of scrap paper. Now I put the embossing powder on, and I will tap that off, set it to the side, take care of my embossing powder. And then I'm gonna melt it. It's always my favorite part of embossing. Then just letting it cool a little bit before I turn it over, because I'm going to want to do the back side next. Some more embossing powder. And one more time with the gun. Okay, at this point, the ornament is ready for your eager beavers. There's nothing else you need to do to have it ready, but we're going to continue with one so you can see what it looks like and all of the steps. All right, so I have just this cookie sheet. These are really cheap ones from the dollar store, and I keep these around for my kids for crafts or perler beads or whatever they need, and then I take them with me to adventures for something like this. So this is a piece of cardstock, which is not essential, but I did find that when I was playing with this, I needed some things to protect my surface because it's a tiny bit messy. It's not really messy, it's just a little messy on the area right here. So this is a piece of cardstock just to soak up the extra dye and water, and then the cookie sheet is to kind of protect my work surface. You don't have to use a cookie sheet, but you might want to put something down, maybe like a vinyl tablecloth, like a picnic tablecloth, something like that. Whatever you normally do to protect your table in your club meetings is probably fine. All right. So the next thing you're going to need is bleeding tissue paper circles. So these are not normal tissue paper. These are bleeding, and that's super important. If you don't have bleeding tissue paper circles, this is not going to work. They don't have to be circles. The circles doesn't matter. I just like the idea of the circles. They come in a bunch of different sizes and shapes, or at least they're squares as well. I thought this size worked really well. These are just 1-inch circles. And you're going to start placing them on here. I did find that if you spray it down first, they'll stick. So I'm going to do that. Just have my spray bottle. Probably more water than I need, but it's fine. These do have white in them. Now, obviously, we're trying to get it to bleed, so white is not very useful. Black's probably a little darker than I want. So I'm going to find some other colors. Oh, pink's great. And I'm just going to start laying them down, and I'm going to be pretty random about it. Just, like that. There's not any one way to do this, so now I see right there I've got a little hole, so I'm going to want to fill that in. There we go. So you can see over here, you can see some of them have already really started bleeding, which is great because that's what we want. That one's got a little bit of spot I want to fix. All right, it's fine. Put one right there. And I'm just going to continue covering it with the tissue paper circles. As you can see, it's not that messy. You'll get a little bit on your hands, but that's about it. The biggest thing is you get a little underneath. Okay, so now I've covered it all up, and I'm going to spray it again. And now I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes. All right, I'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, it's been about 10 minutes, and it's time for the next step. As you can see, let's see, we'll pull this off. And check that out. Ooh, this is all coming off a nice big clump. There's a little bit of water pooling here. Not too bad, but a little bit. I do have a paper towel, which can be a little bit helpful. It's also fine if some of it like runs off into the other side, because we're gonna dye that next, right? You will get a little bit on your fingers, possibly more. As you can see, I've got some on my fingers. When I do this craft with the kids, or when the Eager Beaver teacher does this with the kids, we'll have baby wipes standing by, which is always helpful to have when doing crafts. Baby wipes are awesome. All right, so we're going to flip it over. And as you can see, a little bit got on the edge, which is not a problem because, you know, we're trying to make it colored. So we're going to spray it down just like we did the other side. And then we're going to start placing dots. Pink there. So the biggest thing with this craft is that it has lots of resting time. Ooh, that one's not very dark. I think I might go over some more colors. So what I'm planning on doing for my club is we're just going to keep coming back to the craft. So normally we start with our story is the first thing we do. This time we'll probably start with the craft, and that way they can get the first layer on. And then we will, they'll do the first part, which won't take very long, especially because they're not going to be rubber stamping it, so that will be done already. It's going to take about as much time as, well, this right here does. So they'll start with the craft, and then they'll walk away, and they'll do their story, and possibly a game, and then they'll come back, and they'll do this step, and then they'll walk away, and they'll do the next thing. And so they'll just keep coming back and forth to it. So hopefully by the time our meeting is over, it'll be done, and it can go home. All right, so we're going to let that sit for 10 minutes, and then we'll do the next part. All right, this has been sitting here for 10 minutes, and we're just going to pull it off, just like we did the last time. This one looks a little darker. Oh, there's still another piece there, that's why. One more. Can't quite get it on. All right, there we go. All right, I'm gonna tap it just a little bit. All right, and there it is. Now, it's really wet right now. I wouldn't recommend sending it home quite like this. Probably a good idea to give it just a little more time. So at this point, we'd set it aside and for at least a few more minutes, and then we can put the little ribbon, rope, whatever that stuff is, on it, the hanger. And it'll be ready to go home. Now, if it's not totally dry by the time the kids are ready to go, like I said, I'd like to give this at least another 10 minutes. But if it's not dry, stick it in like a plastic bag or something for them, and remind the parents to take it out as soon as they get home. Because as you can see, like I'm just holding it from the edge and it's coming off on my hands. So obviously, parents will not look kindly on us if we send home things that then like get all over their clothes, and that's never fun. So but this is what it looks like. I think I could probably put this in. As you can see, it's an easy craft, and I think the kids will enjoy it. And it'll look super cute on their Christmas tree. Hopefully then each year, when they see it on their tree, they will remember learning about Jesus' star in their Eager Beavers class. If you are looking for more ideas for teaching Jesus' star, you can find them on my website at laurasresources.com. And I will have more information in the link below. So here's the front, here's the back, and I hope you have fun.